Good morning. I'm Hermela Assefa and I'm representing Gwinnett County. I'm also a student leader at Georgia State University and a very concerned voter. I'm part of a growing generation of young voters in Georgia. Did you know that we lead the nation with an increase of 3% in shares of young voters? And as young voters and students, we have a lot of responsibilities. We're juggling class loads, working to pay out insurmountable debt, leading extracurriculars, and yet here we are on a Friday morning to simply demand that you do your jobs. For us and for all voters, voting should not be an endurance test. On the midterm election day of 2018, voting locations across Georgia saw wait times of hours, not minutes. At your January meeting, Secretary Raffensperger stated that no one should wait more than 30 minutes to cast their vote. And yet, the laws that you plan to implement will do the exact opposite. We state, and the legislature states, that we should say an amount of time, a reasonable amount of time, for us to vote. Like you said, no voter should wait more than 30 minutes or hours to simply cast their votes. We also believe that every precinct should have its fair share of voting booths, allocated by the amount of registered voters. The law passed in 2019 would add 7,000 new voting booths to precincts. That's a 35% increase. This will make a change for voting, a positive change for voting. So we have to ask, why in the world would you consider a law that would make it longer for us to vote, longer lines and longer waiting periods? Your proposed Rule 183-1-13-.01 will put 1,000 less voting booths than there were in the 2018 midterm elections. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this would make lines longer, not shorter. This is a ludicrous law that you should vote no against. This rule does nothing more than to make lines longer, to make voting harder, and to discourage the voters that we are so trying to encourage. We ask that you vote no to this because Georgia voters deserves a state election board that will not silence their votes. We demand that you do better, and we demand that you do your jobs.
Drama.